Okay, now let's say I decided I didn't like that. I can delete this section of stuff from the sequencer by simply pressing on it and pulling down. You have to do this quite quickly. So you can see I pressed on it, pulled down, and it went away. If I didn't do that, if I pressed and held, what I can do is I can actually rearrange clips like that. So you can rearrange groups of clips on the timeline like that. I actually didn't like what I did, so I'm going to get rid of it. And I'm back to just my original with no patterns in here. I could try recording another one. Go back to program mode. Come out of my history. There we go. So there's no pattern there at the moment. So now I could duplicate that. But this time, instead of using that particular part I just recorded, I could use a different pattern. So if I tap on the third pattern slot, I'm telling it now to use pattern 3 in this instance instead of pattern 2, which is what I was just using. So now I can put in some different notes if I want. I might want to erase the notes I just did. We could do that by pressing erase. Okay, I come out of erase mode and I could press record and add some different notes. And you can see that my pattern is showing a different display because what I've done is I've created different notes in slot 3 for this instrument in this instance of the sequencer. So if I was to go back to my first loop, it would be using pattern 2. You can see it's showing me that. If I was to go to my second section, it's showing me that it's using pattern 3. So between the 4 slots and the 4 pattern slots per instrument, you can mix and match quite a lot of different stuff. So it's not as big or complicated as a full sequencer, and you don't really get access to the individual MIDI notes to see them on a piano roll, which would be super. I hope they put that in at some point, but fingers crossed. But you can do some quite interesting stuff nonetheless, and I could do the same with beats. So you can see here, this clip is using pattern 2, but I could change it to use pattern 1. So that's how patterns and pattern sequencing work. So it's quite straightforward and it's a lot of fun, and you get to grips with it really quite quickly.